David, how's this international break been for you and the players that were here over it?
Obviously it was frustrating with the result, to deal with that, and then players obviously going all over the world, flying away with their countries and doing what they need to do, but the focus has been on the group that was still here and working hard to try and work on the areas we know we need to improve, and in terms of getting bodies back on the grass and working together, it's been a successful week, and 2 weeks on that front.
And in terms of getting those bodies back on the grass, how are folk like Joe Newell and Martin Boyle looking for this weekend and further ahead?
Well, they've trained throughout the whole period, which is great. It's exactly what's required. You know, Joe's extra minutes by the bounce game, they've got minutes in that, so they'll fall in line with the rest of the squad, which is available for selection if required at the weekend.
Right, and the two of them looking like they could start if called upon tomorrow?
They're just available. They will be in the squad. They're available for selection, and obviously 24 hours. A lot of players have just came back. First training session. Some of them today. We haven't returned so late from the national team. So there's a few variables within that. We need to see how they are, how they settle. A lot of time changing. See how they recover quickly, and we'll make a decision for them.
And you mentioned that frustrating first part of this international break with the result you had. What needs to change to start getting more positive results in the pitch?
I think when you look at, on reflection, for just take the Motherwell game for example, the basics in both boxes. I think that was the key fundamental thing from the game, and we've looked at it and reflected on it and worked on the areas. And ultimately, we don't want to be a team that's playing well and losing games. You need to win. That's this football club demands it. I'm well aware of that expectation, and that's something we know. The performance level has been good, but if you're not winning games, it's irrelevant. So we need to make sure we put them both together.
And in this block of games seen now in the next international break, you have 3 home games. You managed to avoid the top 3 teams currently. How pivotal can this period be for Hibs to kickstart your season?
It can be, but my full focus is on the next game. I know that's all cliche, but it really is. The games coming up between now and Christmas will come thick and fast, but the full focus is on, as I say, working on the areas we knew, let ourselves down against Motherwell, and making sure we don't do that again, and trying to guard against it as much as possible, because we fully expect a real tough game up at Tannadice. They're playing really well and a good run of form, so we go up there looking forward to the game, but fully aware of the fact that we need to go there and try and get 3 points.
With a club the size of Hibs, fans demand performances and results. How are you dealing with the pressure of not being able to get those results so far?
Well, I think the pressure's always there, even when you're winning games, losing games. For this football club, I know the demands that are here all the time, and I think that's, having been a player, that demand's always on you. I mean, there's always, I've talked a lot about the squad and how strong it is and the competition for places, but the results is the most important thing, so everybody needs to be pulling in the same direction, working as hard as we can to make sure we put that right as quickly as we can.
And we spoke to Lewis Miller there, who said it's a matter of time until the results start going positively. What does that do for you, knowing that you have the full backing of Lewis and the players?
No, obviously it's good to hear. I think as when we go over the games, which we always do, so you have to reflect on all the areas, the good things and the bad. Regardless of the result, you need to look at the performance and see the areas where we need to get better, and still highlight the areas in which we are doing well. So there's a lot of positives from the last game. A lot of areas in which we're doing things right. As I've already touched on, you can do 90% of it right if you're not doing the basics, fundamental side to the game, and you get punished for that. That was what let us down the last time. So it's not all well and good having decent performance levels and the boys believing in what we're doing. We need to see it through for 90 plus minutes and however long it takes.
And what kind of challenge are you expecting at Tannadice tomorrow? And more broadly, what do you make of the job that Jim Goodwin's done at Dundee United?
He's done a fantastic job. Obviously, I've been in the Championship as a player when I was at Hibs. It's a difficult league to get out of. He dealt with that expectation well, managed to get back up, and they've started the season exceptionally well. One of our team has been promoted, and I fully expect a tough challenge from them. They're always well organised. You've seen that for the games they've played so far, and it's always a tough place to go. So I'm fully aware of the challenge it faces us.
And last one for me, I know you said it's the cliche that it's 1 game at a time, but what can 3 points at Tannadice do going into an Edinburgh derby next weekend? How big a lift can that give to your players in terms of confidence? I
think regardless of the following game, you need to take 3 points will give everybody confidence. Of course it will. As a few of the players you've already said have touched on, there's not been a lot wrong in certain situations, and they feel like it's coming. I do see it every single day, the areas in which we are working on, improvement coming all the time. But like I've said throughout the whole period here, which is the performance is great and the levels have been good, but we're not winning games, so we need to make sure we can put it all together. And as I say, that's been our full focus on that, and making sure everyone's on the same page with that, and our full focus is on trying to get that this weekend.